Now, this is my first opportunity to play a Rickenbacker, so don't look at this as an expert review of these guitars. Consider it more of a show and tell of a pretty cool instrument. So this actually belongs to a buddy of mine, and he was kind enough to let me borrow it for a little while, play it. Actually got a chance to record with it a little, so maybe you've seen this guitar in the My Back Pages video. And I think it's going to be in another cover video coming up probably next month. So this is a Rickenbacker 330W, and it's the same body style as a standard 330. But if you go on the website, the Rickenbacker website, you're not going to find this listed under the 300 series. You'd actually find this listed under the W series, W for walnut. That's the big difference with this guitar versus a standard 330. Now, while a standard 330 has a maple body, of course, part of the W series, this 330W has a walnut body. Rickenbacker indicates that these have maple necks, of course, laminated construction. You can see that depicted. The other big difference over a standard 330 here is you have a maple fingerboard, unfinished, while normally you would see a finished rosewood board on a 330. The other big difference, as opposed to the traditional finishes, here you have an oil finish, pretty flat, and it features the walnut wood grain. As always, we start from the headstock. You have that classic Rick shape, and of course the awesome truss rod cover with the logo. And you have 3 per side Schaller tuners. Thickness of the headstock, 17.3 millimeters. Now, I was definitely curious about the neck because that seems to be a talking point with Rickenbackers. We already touched on construction, but here are the dimensions on this neck. Width at the nut, 41 millimeters. Width at the 12th, 49 millimeters. And width at the end of the fingerboard, 53 millimeters. Depth at the 1st fret, 21 millimeters. And depth at the 12th fret, 23.5. The fingerboard itself features a 10-inch radius with 24 frets and dot markers, and the scale length on this guitar, 24 3/4. The double-cut semi-hollow walnut body weighs in at 7 pounds 5.8 ounces on this example. Thickness of the body, 37.5 millimeters, about 1.5 inches. And at its widest point, the body's 15 inches wide. Hardware includes Rickenbacker's unique 6-saddle bridge, along with the R tailpiece as their signature. Now, the guitar has 2 Rickenbacker high-gain single-coil pickups, and the control layout is pretty familiar, especially if you play a Les Paul or other Gibson-style guitar. You have a 3-way toggle for neck, both, and then the bridge pickup, and you have a volume tone per pickup. Now, the unique thing here, of course, is that small 5th control knob. What does the 5th knob do? Well, it only has an effect on the neck pickup. So it makes no difference if you're on the bridge, but it effectively lowers the volume, essentially, of that neck pickup. Now, the way the wiring is done, it actually works in reverse. If you're turning the knob up, it's lowering the volume of that neck pickup. Whereas if you turn the volume, or you turn that knob down, you're raising the volume. And if it's all the way off, it has no effect, basically, on that neck pickup. If you're into the tech stuff, you can actually find the detailed schematic on Rickenbacker's website to see how the wiring is done on this guitar. Here are the pickup readings on this guitar with all the controls wide open and the 5th knob off. Neck pickup, 10.9K, and the bridge pickup, 11.36, and both pickups together, 5.77. As usual, the tone tests are using a Fender Princeton reverb through Universal Audio's Oxbox. And on this guitar, I didn't do any setup work, no disassembly. I figured it was just on loan. I didn't want to go messing around with it for the time being. So you may hear some adjustments that could be made on the guitar in the tone tests. Now, as I said before, this is my first experience with a Rickenbacker. I definitely enjoyed it, but I'd be curious to hear what your insights are on these guitars. Have you played them? What's your experience like? Did I get anything wrong in the video? Let me know in the comments section down below. We'll look forward to seeing those. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.